Our children have got to be put first. The education has got to come first.
This is not a union-style rally about money. But let me tell you what it is about today, folks. It's about respect.
Those politicians who do not stand with you and your children, well, they need to hear from you exactly what you heard from them. Go home and stay away.
Thousands of Oklahoma teachers, students, and parents rally at the state capitol. Now at 5, live team coverage of their fight for education funding. Thank you for choosing 2 News at 5. I'm Karen Larson.
And I'm 2 News anchor Russ McCaskey. I'm at the state capitol live, and things have finally calmed down here some. But earlier today, about 25,000 teachers from all corners of the state of Oklahoma came to the state capitol. They said they needed to make a point about education and education funding, and things have got to change and change now. 3 real basic points that they wanted to make to lawmakers today. Let me briefly run those down for you. The pay raise for teachers. They have not had a mandated pay raise since 2006. They have $200 million fewer dollars in the budget now than they did back in 2009, although enrollment has increased to about 40,000 students, and Oklahoma ranks 49th in per pupil spending, near the very, very bottom. And again, they say these things have got to be addressed. It's become a dire situation in the classrooms in Oklahoma. We have team coverage for you tonight. 2 News reporter Patricia Santos has been checking in with parents and students with reaction there. And 2 News reporter Dan Perlman got up early. He rode the bus with teachers from Tulsa to Oklahoma City. He joins us now live.
Well, you know, these men and women tell me they see it every single day. The number of students is going up while the number of teachers is going down. Now, early this morning, several buses picked up passengers at the Education Service Center. The teachers tell me they were excited to get here to demand change from lawmakers. Many who have been teaching for years tell me the cuts are just too much.
Our funding has been cut drastically since 2008, and it's cut into our programs, and it's cut into the number of teachers that we have.
Now, these teachers are confident today will bring about change here at the Capitol. At 6, I'm going to tell you why they say it's really now or never for some of these lawmakers. Russ?
All right, Dan, thanks. And of course, there's been a lot of reaction coming in. We want to check in now with 2 News reporter Patricia Santos. You've been talking with both parents and students to get their take on this. What are they saying?
Well, for parents, this rally was very personal. They tell me they have family members who either attend or who work at public schools, and they tell me they want their tax dollars to be invested into them.
We are worth it. We are worth it.
Parents and students tell legislators they are worth the tax dollars.
We're 49 and we are a laughing stock. We've got to change this.
Tulsa Public School parent Grace Strickland brought his kids to the rally to stand up for others, those who can't afford the increasing cost of public education.
When I was a kid in the 60s, you only had to bring paper and pencil. Everything else was supplied by the schools. It is ridiculous. I mean, my family can afford it, but I feel horrible for those families who can't afford to supply the cleaning crew.
And I took off a day of work, using a day of vacation for this. It's well worth it.
Julie Godfrey dedicated her activism to her grandkids. She wants to make sure her daughter, a teacher at Claremore Public Schools, gets the pay she deserves.
Our children have got to be put first. The education has got to come first.
Superintendent Keith Ballard urging lawmakers to make students a priority.
This is not a union-style rally about money. But let me tell you what it is about today, folks. It's about respect.
And there were also hundreds of kids out here today in support of their teachers. Coming up at 6, you're going to hear from them and what they are asking lawmakers to do.
Patty, thanks. Now, obviously, with all these teachers here today, the main question becomes, did lawmakers hear them? And what's their reaction going to be? We caught up with the Senate Minority Leader just a few minutes ago, Sean Burge from Claremore, and he told us, yes, lawmakers heard the teachers loud and clear.
I certainly hope so. I hope it'll make a difference in funding. I hope it'll make a difference when we start looking at the state income tax and whether or not it should be cut, when we know that cutting the tax will mean less money for education.
Yeah. Now, of course, here in Oklahoma, the Republicans control the House, the Senate, as well as the governor's office. Coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, we're going to hear from Republicans and get their reaction to today's rally. For now, that'll do it for us here at the state capitol. I'm Russ McCaskey, live. 2 News works for you. Karen, let's send it back to you for the rest of the rally.
All right, thank you, Russ. And with all this talk about education funding, some 2 News viewers asked us to look into how lottery money is being spent. Well, here's what we found. It's barely a drop in the bucket. About $30 million comes from lottery money each year. That's a little more than 1% of the total education budget, and only 45% of that goes to core education in public schools. 39% goes to higher education. The rest goes to other education funds. Most people agree that education should be a top priority. There is some disagreement, though, when it comes to funding. Some say throwing more money at the problem won't fix what's wrong.
I thought it was a little perplexing to have a rally asking for more money when, in fact, education revenues have never been higher in Oklahoma, and per pupil spending in Oklahoma has never been higher. So it's, this has been the case for decades. Money keeps going up, 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 but student performance remains flat.
Critics with the Oklahoma Council of Public Affairs accuse teachers of using tax money to lobby for their cause. They say that wouldn't fly if lawmakers did the same thing. Today's rally at the Capitol isn't the first in the name of education. Lawmakers pushed through similar legislation back in 1990 when Governor Henry Bellman was in office. House Bill 1017 reformed teacher pay, restricted class size, and beefed up early childhood education. 2 News spoke to one Tulsa teacher who attended that rally nearly a quarter century ago. She remembers how the community pushed for change back then as well.
I'm very, very hopeful, and I am thinking of all the other great demonstrations in history.
Tonight at 6, 2 News reporter Rico Bush sits down with the teacher who explains how that bill eventually changed education in Oklahoma. And you can find out much more about today's rally on our website, including pictures of the crowd. It's all online right now at KJRH.com.